Hi, I'm Becca, and this is my husband, Gabe.
That's me.
Welcome to the podcast celebrating Jack Russell Terrier dogs.
And all the joys of companionship with canines of every kind.
Each week, we'll explore all the heartfelt, humbling, and hilarious stories that only dog parents can truly relate to. We're Jack Russell parents. Howdy, puppy parents. We hope your 2022 is rockin' and rollin'.
Ours is rocking. The rolling is on the horizon.
Yes. And as you know, we do our best to keep things positive on the Jack Russell Parents podcast. But when something dog-related and newsworthy happens, even if it's not so happy, we feel compelled to share. The not-so-happy news for today, if you haven't already heard, is that the beloved actress and animal activist Betty White has passed away. She was just 17 days shy of her 100th birthday.
Actually, the first of many interesting Betty White facts that we're sharing today is that the 99-year-old Betty White lived through over 20 leap years. So those extra days added up put her over 100 years old. So she made it.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Thanks. I saw it on a meme.
I'd hate to admit all the quote-unquote facts I found on memes.
Memes, encyclopedia, same thing.
Same thing. Anyway, in honor of her well-lived life, here are some more fun facts about the iconic animal-loving Betty White. Betty was an Emmy Award-winning actress that acted for over 80 years.
That's amazing.
Yes. I mean, full career. It's beautiful.
I can't imagine even being 80 years old, let alone doing the same kind of job for 80 years.
Yeah, it's really remarkable. Betty was a mama to many puppies over the years and to many kinds of pups, from a huge St. Bernard named Stormy to a miniature poodle named Danny.
She did not discriminate, the tiniest to the biggest dogs.
Yes. Next, Betty believed every child should have a dog growing up, but that it should be trained by the parents. I like that because I think what happens is people get puppies for their children and they're like, well, you've got to take care of it. Well, that's just unrealistic.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, a dog can help teach a child responsibility as well as love and loss. And apparently it also helps with the immune system. So, I mean, it helps in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's hard enough to train a dog, let alone a Jack Russell Terrier. I couldn't expect a child to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Another fun fact is way before it was popular to do so, Betty was a big advocate of adoption, specifically mutts. Additionally, in the 70s, Betty produced and hosted a show called Pet Set, where celebrities showed off their pets.
Celebrity show and tell.
Yeah. And while we can easily fill numerous episodes going through highlight to highlight about Betty's illustrious showbiz career, we are a dog podcast. So today, we're going to focus on Betty's love for dogs, pets, and animals.
Specifically, Betty's most famous quotes about dogs, pets, and animals.
Yes, so starting with this one. She says, I've loved animals since I was in the womb. I was the lucky little girl who had parents who went for a walk and they'd come home with a dog or a cat. And they'd say, he followed us home, Betty. Can we keep him?
Oh my gosh. That's adorable.
I love it.
Another quote from Betty about how much she loves animals is, animals don't lie. Animals don't criticize. If animals have moody days, they handle them better than humans do.
I think I would agree with that. And I can tell Carson has moody days.
Yeah. It's not as bad as one of our moody days, but
right.
He's moody.
He can get a little moody.
He holds it together.
The next quote is, I learned it from my animal friends. Kindness and consideration of somebody besides yourself. I think that keeps you feeling young. I really do. I think so too.
Yeah. Holding on to anger and resentment, it really wears you down. It makes you feel old.
Yes. And thinking about somebody else helps you take your mind off those things and onto the right things. Next up, my mother and dad were big animal lovers too, like we mentioned in one of her previous quotes. I just don't know how I would have lived without animals around me. I'm fascinated by them, both domestic pets and the wild community. They just are the most interesting things in the world to me, and it's made such a difference in my lifetime.
Watching Carson is just as interesting, if not more so, than pretty much anything on TV. He's entertainment for sure. Betty also says, when I'm around animals, I don't pay much attention to people.
Yeah, guilty.
Is it because we're just introverts or because we actually love animals that much?
I think it's a little of both.
50-50 both.
I feel like sometimes you're always like, hey, I'm here too. Like I pay too much attention to Carson.
Betty also says, I've worked with the Morris Animal Foundation for more than 40 years now, and I'm so proud of all they've done to advance veterinary medicine for animals worldwide. Y'all got to check it out. The Morris Animal Foundation is an amazing organization. You can find them at morrisanimalfoundation.org. And if you go to their site right now, they make it very easy for you to donate in Betty's honor.
Oh, that is amazing. Absolutely. Let's be sure to do that when we pop off. Along those same lines, her next quote is, I stayed in show business to pay for my animal business. Pets are not cheap, but they're worth it. And the last Betty White quote we'll share today is, I always wanted to be a zookeeper when I was growing up, and I've wound up a zookeeper. I've been working with the Los Angeles Zoo for 45 years.
She just knocks on the door and says, hey, I'm Betty White. Can I work here?
Yes,
come
ma'am.
on in.
Come on in. She says, I'm the luckiest old broad on 2 feet because my life is divided absolutely in half. Half animals and half show business. You can't ask for better than 2 things you love the most. Those might be the 2 things I love doing the most too, Betty.
Being an artist and loving on our pup.
Yep. While it's definitely sad to lose such a positive presence, both in the entertainment and animal world, what an example she has left for us.
WWBWD. What would Betty White do?
Oh my gosh. Well, she would love on a puppy. That's what she'd do.
Yep.
And that's what I'm going to go do right now. Hats off to you, Betty.
11-year-old Walter just may die of boredom during the most boring summer ever. While exploring an abandoned garden, Walter discovers a mystical elf world where all dead plants spring to life at his touch. The downtrodden elves think Walter is there to save them with his new life-giving powers, to defeat the wicked Ichabod van Snothook before he sucks everyone's joy dry with his never-ending list of rules. Walter will need to use his best power yet, his imagination. In a dying, oppressed world, one boy has the power to bring freedom and life. Walter Plume and the Dehydrated Imagination will take you and your middle grade reader on a thrilling journey while igniting the depths of your imagination. Boys the Book says, beautiful imagery leads to spectacular world building in this fantasy that will leave the young reader glued to the pages. Relatable characters add to the magic of the story with never a dull moment. Get your magical fingers on a copy of Walter Plume and the Dehydrated Imagination by Rebecca Lynn Morales, now at Amazon.com. Find out more at walterplume.com. Let Walter and his story awaken your beautiful and creative imagination.
Did you enjoy this episode? Did you learn from the content? Or did you just have a good, relatable laugh? Well, now what? It's time to subscribe, follow, keep listening, and give a positive review on the Apple Podcast app. Then share the podcast with other puppy parents. This will allow us to connect you and your friends with fun, dog-loving content week after week. Until next time, this is Becca and Gabe, the Jack Russell parents.
Say bye, Carson.
We'd love to connect with you online at jackrussellparents.com or on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at JRT Podcasts. That's at JRT for Jack Russell Terrier Podcast.
The Jack Russell Parents Podcast is produced by Earball Audio.
Jack Russell Parents is brought to you in part by Super Chewer. From the makers of BarkBox, Super Chewer is a themed monthly delivery of toys and treats made especially for dogs who play harder and demand a challenge. Simply go to jackrussellparents.com and click the Super Chewer link to enjoy their great offers while also supporting our podcast.